Let's play a game. You work, you save, you spend, and then someone else quietly changes the rules overnight. One morning your groceries cost 10% more, your rent went up, and your bank's like, we had to raise the rates because they said so. Well, who's they? Meet the Federal Reserve, the real puppet masters of the dollar. They don't campaign, they don't trend on TikTok, and yet they can make your whole paycheck shrink without lifting a single dumbbell. Most people think the president runs the economy. Cute. The Fed looks at presidents like substitute teachers, like, sure kid, run the class until we say the recession is over. Let's talk about the chaos before this control. Before the Fed, America's banking system was a circus with no ringmaster. Every bank printed its own version of money. You'd walk into a store like, I'd like to buy this loaf of bread, and the cashier is like, sorry, we only take First National of Ohio dollars. Try next door. There were constant panics. 1873, 1893, 1907. Banks collapsing like bad Jenga towers. People literally kept cash on their mattresses, not because they didn't trust banks, but because the banks kept dying. When the panic of 1907 hit, J.P. Morgan, one guy, bailed out the entire US financial system. Imagine Elon Musk having to save the economy with Dogecoin. Congress finally said, yeah, we need adult supervision. Let's talk about the birth of the puppet masters in 1913. So in 1913, Congress said, let's build a central bank. But Americans didn't trust that phrase, so they called it the Federal Reserve System. Sounds safer, right? It's half public, half private. The public, the Board of Governors in DC, the government's face. The private, 12 regional banks owned by private banks. And the Fed's job, keep money stable, prevent bank runs, be the economic babysitter when everyone starts fighting over the last dollar in Monopoly. But the twist is, it's not fully government, and it's not fully private. It's like that one coworker you can't figure out. One day they're on your side, the next day they're taking credit for your idea. See, originally every US dollar was backed by gold. Real shiny stuff you could hold. Then came the Great Depression, wars, and in 1971 Nixon said, you know what? No more gold. Now our money is backed by faith and vibes and the Federal Reserve's mood swings. When the Fed raises interest rates, borrowing gets harder. They're basically saying, y'all spending too much, sit down. When they cut rates, it's like, money's on sale, baby. Swipe that card and stimulate the economy. They don't print happiness, they print behavioral control. If you're still here, you're officially smarter than half the politicians arguing about money printing on cable news. So do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment below. The Fed can raise rates, but they can't raise my paycheck. Every click helps this channel fight inflation one laugh at a time. Let's outsmart the system together, because information is the only thing they can't devalue. So how does the Fed control your daily life? The Fed doesn't just set interest rates. They decide your stress level. When they raise rates, your credit card balance hurts more. Your mortgage inflates. Your car note gets heavier. When they cut rates, the stock market parties like it's 1999, until inflation crashes in it like a drunk Uber driver. And remember, when the Fed fights inflation too hard, people lose jobs. When they ignore it, your grocery bill starts looking like your rent. They're walking a tightrope, and we're below it with empty wallets and high hopes. So here's where it gets wild. Sometimes the Fed doesn't even do anything. They just say something. Jerome Powell could cough in a press conference and the stock market drops 600 points. They use psychology. When they hint at raising rates, investors panic sell. When they hint at lowering them, everyone FOMOs back in. It's not just monetary policy, it's monetary mind control. They can't control your emotions, but they can definitely price them in. Now, are the Fed's moves meant to protect the US economy? Absolutely. Without them, recessions would hit harder and recover slower. But let's be real, the rich always lands on their feet first. When rates drop, asset prices rise. Stocks, real estate, luxury goods, all owned by the wealthy. When rates rise, working class folks pay more for debt while the rich scoop up discounted assets. It's like a storm where billionaires wear raincoats and everyone else gets drenched. Now, what's the lessons for the everyday player? Here's a game plan for us. Number 1, don't fight the Fed. When rates rise, get lean, save, pay off debt. Number 2, when rates fall, don't blow it, invest, but don't bet your rent money. Number 3, learn the cycles. Once you understand their timing, you move smarter. Number 4, invest in yourself. Skills, assets, side hustles, things inflation can't take. Because the Fed may steer the ship, but you're still responsible for your seatbelt. Listen, the Federal Reserve is the most powerful institution on earth. They move the markets. They influence jobs. They even decide how loud your credit card debt screams at night. They're not the villains. They're survival mechanics for a messy economy. But their playbook will always favor those who play the game well. So study the game. Watch the watchers. Because understanding how they move is how you stop getting moved. I hope that doesn't go over your head. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button. Because here at Financial Watchman, we don't just follow the money, we guard it like it owes us rent. Drop a comment like, now I know who's pulling the strings. And if you want to support the mission, grab me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/The Financial Watchman. Because unlike the Fed, I don't print my own. This video is for education and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research before making money moves. I am the Financial Watchman, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye, y'all.